What up, what up? It's Ace G. Back into the top, back into the video. So the title of this video is going to be YouTube needs small content creators. So admin notes, thanks again to all subscribe to the channel. I endeavor to keep pushing your video out. Give you leverage to better yourselves. So let's get into it. So YouTube needs small content creators. So I'm not going to make this video long, but this topic came across my mind actually today, based off of some of the comments I've received on some of my videos within the last 2 weeks. My viral video, I'm gonna call it viral now because I have folks that's on YouTube right now actually creating content based off of that video. And I really had to go back into my page and actually do some research and see, like, you know, what time frame that my video was created versus some of these other folks that have made like almost like the same title of their video and trying to talk about the same thing. And it seems like my video came out first. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the first one to ever talk about this topic before I talked about it, but it seems like my video is trending now, which is actually really crazy. It really is. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at that at all. I'm really not. I even said on the video before that, you know, taking titles from other folks, or, you know, or doing your own spin on a particular topic or a subject or a title, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not copyright issues or anything like that. I'm all about folks getting their own bag too. So if you want to take my title and talk about it and put your own spin on it, I'm not mad or feeling upset about that, because at the end of the day, you taking my topic does not affect my money and affects my growth on my YouTube channel. It just doesn't. Even if it did, I don't think I would be upset about that, because like I said, you know, what's you is for you and what's for me is for me. And if you think that, you know, big content creators did not take subjects and titles from other content creators in order to them to talk about it and then to get big, you're fooling yourself. You know, it's the wild west on YouTube. It really is. You know, I can talk about a topic and get barely 100 views. Somebody can take the same topic and get 1 million views. It all depends, right? But anyways, into the topic. So YouTube needs small content creators. So I'm gonna relate this to two particular industries, and you tell me if I'm correct in saying this. So one industry is the music industry. So there are a lot of underground artists, whether it be jazz artists, hip hop artists, R&B artists, that have a following, but they don't have a huge following, but they still have an audience. So you have a lot of folks that, even though they may not be big in the music sector, as far as like going viral, getting a lot of sales, getting a lot of views on YouTube, because the music industry has changed a lot, because it's, you know, folks don't buy CDs anymore, they're streaming music. So there are a lot of folks out there that make music now that can literally get on the internet and blow up overnight, or they'll have a small following, but that following is so much of a dedicated following to them that they feel compelled to still keep doing music. And I've seen a lot of artists that have been like this over the years, even before the internet was a big thing, even before social media was a big thing. You have a lot of underground artists that are still thriving to a certain degree because they have a following. So, you know, when you look at the numbers as far as how many views you've had on a video, how many subscribers you have, you know, how many times your video has come across somebody's page, you still have value. You're still creating value for YouTube, and you're still creating value for the audience of YouTube. And of course, YouTube makes money, right? YouTube is a search engine, and of course they make money based off of the content that's on their platform. But at the end of the day, even though there are a lot of bigger YouTubers that make a lot of money based off of what they do as far as content, YouTube is still making money off of you still being the small content creator. That's just the nature of the beast. One of the small artists, hip hop artists that I would say that didn't have a huge following, but I've been listening to their music since day one, is this rap artist called Sean Price. Rest in peace to him. I believe he passed away in 2015. And I've talked about him before, but he was a part of a group called Boot Camp Click that came out in the mid-90s. And Boot Camp Click was man, Look up Boot Camp Click if you like hip hop, and I'm telling you, they had a huge following at one point. Now I'm not saying they went mainstream, but they did have a couple songs that popped. They had a couple songs, they had a couple albums that actually did very well. But over time, you know, hip hop changed, and now, you know, their music is not as popular what it was back in those days, because, you know, of course, young folks during that time, there was making hip hop that was catered to that audience. Now, you know, hip hop has changed a lot. But Sean Price over the years has been one of those standout artists in that particular group that actually kept going. The Click was a huge amount of artists that was a part of that rap group. But Sean Price has been the artist that I've seen that actually kept it going and became basically a solo artist, and he was pushing out, you know, albums and singles that was absolutely crazy. I kind of relate him to Ghostface Killer from Wu-Tang Clan, because Wu-Tang, at a certain point, I never felt like Wu-Tang fell off, but I mean, but just like I said, as the time went on with how hip hop grew, Wu-Tang Clan has not been as popular with the younger folks as opposed to me being in my 40s and how I saw how they grew back in the 90s. But Ghostface Killer has been consistent over these years. Like, I think every single year since he's been out, he's been making albums. Even though the group itself has not made albums, and some of those artists from that group hasn't made albums, he has consistently made albums. And he's been having growth. He's been still having a following. He hasn't fallen off. Even with the times, he's still been pushing our content, I guess, music content, right? And that's how I relate Sean Price. So if you want to really hear some crazy hip hop from an artist, Sean Price is the guy. I'm telling you, he is definitely my top 3 of the best rap artists of all time for me. But once again, he hasn't had a huge following, right? But the following he had was so hardcore with his music that I'm pretty sure he still was compelled to still make music. And of course, I'm pretty sure the lover of hip hop, he still was gonna make content and still make music regardless, right? So rest in peace to him. I really miss you know, hearing new music from him. But the old albums that they have, I still rock them to this day. Trust me, most of the time you actually hear me on YouTube and I do a video where I'm actually just finishing working out, you best believe my playlist, I had at least 3 Sean Price songs playing in my playlist. So of course, that means that he brought value to the music industry, and he was considered a small artist to a certain degree, right? Actually, I think one of the songs he created, he said he was the brokest rapper alive, but to me he was one of the illest rappers alive. So that's what I mean about, you know, like, YouTube needing small content creators, because not every single person that watches YouTube wants to see a huge content creator. They want to see somebody that relates to them, and somebody that relates to them may not have 500,000 subscribers. That person may only have 1,000 subscribers or 500 subscribers. It all depends, right? Now, the other industry that I would say that this relates to, and I don't want to call it really an industry, but it's the religious industry, the church industry, right? It is an industry to a certain degree, right? So you have a lot of churches that are out there that are not mega churches, right? Mega church meaning that, and, you know, actually, I'm not exactly sure what metric that would be considered a mega church. Maybe 1 million congregants. Not exactly sure. But, you know, I know back in Norfolk, you know, you have plenty of churches that are on corners that barely have 25 members. But there's still a need, right? These folks still need to hear the good news, and they still need to hear about Jesus. So these folks may not want to actually go to a mega church. They may want to just go to a small church and actually have access to that pastor that has a small congregation, because they may want to, you know, not hear the fluff and not see the fluff. And I'm not saying that mega churches have a lot of fluff. I'm not saying that at all. But as you grow on YouTube, and if you get a huge following, there's going to come a time, and this is just how human nature is. There's going to come a time where you're not going to be able to comment on every single comment. You're not going to be able to address every single person that's on your channel. If I have 800,000 subscribers and I have over 5,000 comments in one video, there's no way that I'm going to be able to comment on every single comment. That's the way it is. Like, it's just not enough time in the day. Actually, you doing that is going to take away from you actually creating more content for that following. So sometimes folks may feel out of touch with you, but because your content is so it's so informative to them, and they appeal to it so much that they're going to keep following, even though you may not receive a comment from them. So that's one of the reasons why small churches are so needed in communities. But God has something for everybody. So you may be a content creator that may not reach 5,000 subscribers. Who cares? There's still a need because you still have a following. So, going back to what I said when I'm saying as far as YouTube needing small content creators, once again, a lot of viewers of YouTube may not need to follow a huge YouTube content creator. They may want to follow a small content creator because that content creator may relate to them more than a bigger content creator on YouTube. There's a need. There really is. If every single person that on YouTube had 1 million subscribers, then how are you going to be able to relate to that particular content creator? That may not be the case, Hold on for a second. Hold on, y'all. Diva. Come here, girl. What you doing? So, being a small content creator is definitely, girl, is needed. YouTube needs small content creators. They just need small content creators. So this is a video to encourage small content creators to keep doing content, because even though you may not have a big following right now, one day you may have a big following. But if you don't at all, just know that you're needed out here, and you gotta have some subscribers that really need to hear what you gotta say. So stay encouraged, keep doing that content, because I know for myself, I'm gonna keep watching y'all. Most of the people that I watch on YouTube are small content creators. So keep pushing, keep rocking out. I'm gonna rock out right along with you. So you want me to discuss the topic or such thing that think benefits your channel, email me at AceOG757 @gmail.com. My email address is in the description below. Say So G, signing out. I'm gone.